Great. That's the first problem. So I'm sitting here in the Atlanta airport after Frontier Airlines has completely derailed my plan for today. And I flew in from Barbados last night from working in Barbados over the week. And I was on the plane from Barbados, and I was on the plane today trying to think of what sort of funny, engaging, enlightening comment I could make for this occasion, but it was very difficult to concentrate on that because I was trying to not completely yell at somebody at Frontier for messing up my schedule today. And I apologize for being a little bit late, but my mother would absolutely not tolerate it if I accepted an award without wearing a tie. She would absolutely have a problem with that. And so I needed to put a tie on and a fresh shirt because that's the way it has to be. So I guess I would say, first of all, thank you so much to Dr. Prakash and Dr. Jimé for even considering me for this award. It came as a total surprise. I was completely unexpected. And I think that this is not something that I anticipated I would ever be able to say I was even eligible to receive, much less to receive. And I am very, very humbled and extremely grateful for the opportunity to get this award, even if I'm 116 miles away and struggling to get there. I think, hang on one second. Can everyone still hear me okay? My phone is acting up a little bit. I just want to confirm.
We can hear you.
You can hear me okay?
Yes,
can you see me as well or no?
We can see you very clear. Go ahead. Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. My phone is just having a problem. But I wanted to say that I started as was probably in my biography. It was a very hot day in May. I had just flown into Tuskegee. I was at the Greyhound bus station. And it was one of many, many, many times where it looked like I had made a losing choice. I was sitting in this extremely hot area. Nobody was there. The Tuskegee bus station looked like something from the 1940s. I was almost afraid that I was going to get like killed out there. It was crazy. And then Dr. Henderson came by in his old gray El Camino. And he looked out the window and said, "Are you Steve? Are you Steve?" And I was like, "Yes, please. I'll be whatever name you want. Just get me out of here before somebody kills me or the heat kills me." And Dr. Henderson took me to Dorothy Hall. Back in the day, but Dorothy Hall had accommodation above the restaurant. And I was in Dorothy Hall and I was there with no air conditioning, swelteringly hot. So just incredible, like maybe 94, 95. Typical Alabama summer day. And Dr. Henderson invited me to this group called Enhances, which was for the educational nurturing of high achieving candidates for excellence in sciences, if I remember correctly. And we had a meeting the next day, and then he met with all of us individually. And he asked me, what is it? What is your ambition? What would you like to do? And I said, listen, I want to go to Johns Hopkins to be just like my then sane hero, Dr. Benjamin Carson, before he lost his mind and allowed hubris to kind of overtake his whole career. And Dr. Henderson said, fantastic. Do you have a plan to do that? And I said, well, no, I just arrived. And so I don't know exactly how to plan to do that. And Dr. Henderson said, nobody cares about what you want. People only care about what you can plan for. And I think that this has been something that I kept in my career for the whole time, that especially throughout the time when I was in Tuskegee and even afterwards. Nobody cares what you want. People only care about what you plan for. But I think today is a really good example of, and of course, I'm in a public space in the airport, so please excuse my background. But I think this is a very good example of a time when the plan didn't exactly go according to plan. right? Today is a very good example of that, and that has happened multiple times in my career. And even in times when I look like I made a losing choice, for example, I remember I was in Geneva, Switzerland, when I just finished my MBA, and I was looking for a job in Switzerland because I decided I wanted to do international public health in Switzerland. And I had just finished my internship and I was running out of student visa, running out of time on my student visa. And I received a letter, registered mail, from the Swiss authorities where they said if I didn't have a job or a viable educational program in the next 10 days, I was going to be deported. And this looked like I had made a losing choice, another losing choice. Then there was a time when I was in Nigeria and I had had food poisoning. And at the same time, I had terrible food poisoning, probably salmonella. I was also dealing with bed bugs because I was staying in this crappy hotel in the middle of Abuja, working for WHO. I couldn't afford anything better. And I was getting torn up by bed bugs. Things look bad. Looks like another losing choice. And I think the last one that I would like to point out was when I was in Nigeria. And yeah, in Nigeria, although it's the fourth largest producer of crude oil, both of their refineries do not work because of widespread corruption. And so in Nigeria, there is regular shortages of petroleum products like diesel, kerosene, gasoline. And that was a situation that I was in Nigeria where there was a shortage of different products. So I was sitting in my apartment, hot, in the dark, because there's no air conditioning. There was no water. There was no running water because there was no electricity to run the pumps to get the water up to my apartment. No internet, nothing. And it looked pretty dire. And then at the time when I was in Nigeria, we were under a lot of security issues because of the bombings from Boko Haram. So we couldn't go outside. We couldn't do what we needed to do. So it was a very kind of difficult situation that looked like I'd made another losing choice. And I've made lots of choices that may have looked like a loser at the time, but I've never, ever been lost. And I was never lost because I always knew why I made those choices. And I always understood what I was doing, why I was doing it, the motivation behind it, and what I eventually wanted to accomplish, because I always had a plan. Now, the plan may have gone sideways, like today. I clearly was supposed to have this brilliant tie that I've been saving for months to wear to be seen in person, to pick up this award in person, but the plan didn't go according to plan. But I've never been lost in my career, even when things looked like I was losing. And that's because I always was aware of what my ikigai was. Now, this is something I think that if you have your phones, and I know you do, you can all Google. It's called IKIGAI. And it's a Japanese term that means the reason for doing something, your purpose, your ultimate purpose. And when you Google Ikigai, IKIGAI, look in the images and look at the pictures of how Ikigai is organized, where it's a series of interconnected Venn circles, right? Interconnected circles in a Venn diagram between what you can get paid for, what you are passionate about, what you enjoy doing, and what you feel a mission to do. And all those intersecting circles, in the center is your ikigai, which is a combination of what you love doing, what you can get paid for, what you're good at, and what you have a mission to do, what you're driven to do. And my ikigai has always been to improve the health of women and children around the world, always. That's never changed. And so even when my plan changed, I went from I thought after working with Dr. Henderson and doing all my summer internships, I thought I wanted to be an MD, PhD. Then I realized, I don't need like 10 years of study. No. So I switched and decided I wanted to do an MD, MPH. Then I thought I wanted to be a neonatal intensive care physician, a neonatologist. And then I just got super depressed with losing so many children. I couldn't manage death in children as well as I thought I could. So I changed again to international public health. And I thought I was going to stay in the United States. I bought a house and I changed again and I moved to Switzerland. And every single time the plan changed, even though it looked like I made some losing choices, because I always understood what my ikigai was, I was never, ever, ever lost. And I think that if I can say nothing else memorable to this audience of students, because I was a student just like you, I was sitting in the same chairs, I was at these same sorts of events, I never felt as if I was lost, even when things looked dark. And they've been dark. And I've had some stories where you just think, okay, maybe this is the wrong choice. I mean, even the decision to move to Switzerland, every single person I knew thought I was crazy. I've already, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans to get this amazing medical education at Johns Hopkins, and I'm going to go to Switzerland and just throw it all away. It looked crazy and it looked like a loser, but because I knew why I was doing it, and because I understood that the motivation and the direction was never in doubt, I knew that I would make it work. And I knew that it would work, even when I had 10 days to answer a letter from the Swiss government, which was sent to me in very scary French. I would not recommend that. But I knew that I would find a solution. Like today, I knew I would find a solution. So my tie's a little bit crooked. I'm still in the airport. I'm very late, but I'm here. I'm here. And I think that if you can get to a place in your studies and in your career where things may not necessarily be on time, they may not be the way that you thought, but if you can get there and you can just say that you're there, then I think that's a win. So thank you very much, Dr. Prakash. I really appreciate the award. I don't want to go on too long. I know that I'm already late, but if there's any questions or anything else I could answer, I'll be very happy to do so. Over to you, Dr. Prakash.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Dr. Findlay. I truly appreciate you taking time, sitting in the airport and narrating your life story. It's wonderful. We are really, really honored by honoring you, and you represent the essence of Tuskegee. You represent the fruits of our labor as faculty, what we can do, and when we see someone like Dr. Stephen Nurse-Findlay, all our efforts seem like worth it. And thank you very much. And I really appreciate you receiving the award. We wish again you would have been in person, but we'll make sure you get this today wherever you are. So just go ahead and let us know where you're going to be tonight, and we'll make sure you get this. Okay. And again, thank you very much. And I'll hand over to Dr. Bradford, who will close the session. And I just want to take this opportunity to make sure I thank everyone here who has helped put this event together. Dr. Nurse-Findlay, of course, is the most important person I want to thank, but many have helped me, helped in making this successful today. And you saw Dr. Bradford, who has been the master of the ceremony, and Ms. Tabitha Piner and Theodora, who is outside, managing all the logistics of this, and including the food. And I invite all of you to please join us in that. And Dr. J.H.M, of course, who's put this whole program together efficiently as he does every time. And Dr. Carter, who really helped us with the trivia and got the thing going in such a wonderful and amazing manner. And everyone else who's in the program, including the 2 students. And of course, I can never forget Dr. Aji, without who, and all the technical support, and the IT folks also. that we are able to get this to the rest of the world. And Dr. Aji always saves me in times of my crisis with the IT. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bradford again. And thank you, Dr. Findlay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nurse-Findlay. And you're never lost when you understand your why. That is what we're all going to take from this, and representing TU's excellence. And so this concludes our ceremony for today. Thank you all for attending and celebrating and honoring Dr. Nurse-Findlay. We're truly grateful for your presence. And so with that, we have refreshments out in the foyer. You'll have a reception, and I feel like we need to close with something. Yes. Dr. Nurse-Findlay?
Yes.
They want to know, when will you be here?
I will. I'll be on campus later. I'll be leaving the airport now, and I'll be arriving later on this evening.
Okay, will you be here for the convocation on Sunday?
Sunday, no, because I've got to travel to Belize on Sunday. So I flew in from Barbados yesterday. I came here specifically for this, and then I'm leaving tomorrow night so I can go to Belize on Sunday. So it was again, it looked like a crazy plan, but we're here. We're making it work.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I wanted to know whether it's related to Malcolm called one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism, but his real name is Malcolm Knox. So I was do you need relationship between you?
There's a question here. Will you come to
Sure.
There's a question here for you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure knowing you. And I was just curious. I was looking at your name, Nurse, and I was thinking, is there any relationship between you and Malcolm Nurse, or the person that is famously known as George Padmore, one of the advisors of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana? He was also from Trinidad.
No. Although he sounds like a super interesting person, I'd love to be related to, but no, to my knowledge, no, I'm not related.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for attendance. And thank you. Thank you again. We honor you. People have been clapping and celebrating, yelling TU, I don't know if you heard that. But we are grateful and happy that you represent TU excellence. Thank you. We celebrate.
Thank you. And if I would just say one last thing, thank you to all of my friends and family who logged on. I don't know how many of them did, but I know many of them did. And just for the students, the word is Ikigai, Ikigai. Google it and look at the diagram that's used to describe it. It will help you in terms of understanding what your why actually is. Ikigai. Very helpful.
Thank you. Ikigai. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead and end it.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good homecoming, and I hope Tuskegee wins the game. Go to you.
Safe travels.
Cheers.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on and for everything. I'm the director of international programs here at Tuskegee, and you exemplify why international students bring such excellence to our campus and such richness and diversity. And thank you for your persistence and your positive message. And I hope I'll get to see you somewhere on campus tomorrow just to say a greeting and just congratulations, and hearing you speak just warmed my heart. So safe travels to get to the campus, and we're very proud and appreciative of you and all your efforts.
Thank you very much. I will do my best. This was kind of a difficult week for me to come, but we're here and we made the effort we needed to make to be here because it's important. And I'm very pleased to be able to represent the university everywhere that I go. But I am quite confident that there's somebody in that audience today who's listening that will put everything I've done completely into the shade, I will be far more successful and far more, you know, will achieve a lot more than I'm able to. There's somebody in that audience today that's going to make me look like child's play. So I'm not even concerned. But thanks again for the invitation. I apologize I'm not able to be there in person. Send all of your emails to Frontier Airlines. Send all of your complaints to Frontier Airlines. And I'll be on campus later today, and very best wishes to everyone.
Thank
And
you.
we'll make sure your words will always resonate, because we're going to put this on YouTube and make it a mandatory viewing for all of our freshmen.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, when they start complaining that they're bored of this, I just don't want to get all the emails. I don't want to get all the text messages. But thank you very much. My mother, who passed away a year ago this week, she always said that whenever you do something, start with humility, but finish with confidence. And I think that if we continue to do that, that's, I think, what we do at Tuskegee better than most people. No, we start with humility, but we always finish with confidence. And I think that, you know, as I said, somebody in that audience is going to do that. Somebody in that audience, or multiple people, they're all going to start with humility, but we're all going to be amazed by what they're going to finish when they bring that confidence, particularly if they were able to withstand Tuskegee University registration. You definitely have confidence if you can survive that. So if we can get people to remember that and remember why they're doing what they're doing, you can't lose. You can't lose. You'll never be lost. But thanks again. I'm sorry I talked too much. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the refreshments.
Will do.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.